Morning.
Yeah, feel free to bring phones,
Hi.
any recording equipment to the front. Thanks so much for joining us ahead of a busy international period. We will start with Anton from Sky Sports News.
Hello to you both. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Sarina, let's start. I know one more training session to go, but how is everybody? We saw all 26 players training yesterday, obviously. And what are you hoping to get out of this tournament?
Yeah. Almost everybody's fine, except for Kira. She's a question mark for tomorrow because she has a little stomach bug. So we'll assess her today, but she won't be on the pitch today. Everyone else is fit, ready. Yeah, what we want to take from this tournament is, of course, everything is to get ready for July 22nd, preparation for the World Cup, 3 games, so that gives lots of opportunities to see lots of players, see lots of combinations against good opponents.
How important is this tournament when it comes to selecting your final squad?
Well, I think every camp is important to see where every player is at this moment, and still we have a couple of months to go, but it's a measure moment, and that's really good. And we know that this tournament will give us lots of information, but there's still many games to play for teams in like the next part of the competition, internationally, nationally, cup football. There's so many exciting games to come. And then we have April, and after that still hopefully some good matches, and then we have to make a decision. So yeah, it's good to have this opportunity and have so many minutes with the players this week.
Leah, nice to see you. I was saying yesterday, last time I saw you in England top, you were hiding from us in the back of a car with your foot in a boot. How does it feel to be back, though, especially, as Sarina was saying, as we build towards July and that World Cup?
Yeah, no, I'm on a personal note very happy to be back with the team, but I think for everybody it seems like such a long time from November to February anyway, so a lot's happened, a lot's changed for everybody, and it's good to come back together to reconnect. And obviously, the more time we spend together, the stronger we seem to get, which was proof in the last summer. So it's good to be back.
Every injury, every knock you get in the build-up to a big tournament, does it amplify worry because you're just like, I can't let anything derail myself from what's coming this summer?
It's definitely a hard place to be as a player because being fit is 90% of the battle, but you're trying to push and you're trying to grow as a person and player as well. So it's always a fine line. But I think everybody takes care of. We're competitors, we're athletes. So every game, every training session, you want to give everything, and it doesn't really work if you hold back in any sense.
I spoke to Sarina last week about Beth Mead, who obviously isn't here because of injury. You obviously see her day in, day out at Arsenal. Just wondering how she is, how recovery's going, and how she's getting on.
Yeah, Beth's an amazing person, an amazing character to have around the team. We're very happy to have her back around the squad at Arsenal. She's definitely a miss when we're here, but she's doing good, and I think the football world showed Beth how much she means to them. It's normally her giving everything to everybody else, so I think it was the time, and I know how much she appreciated that as well, and I know she won't mind me saying that.
Look, we're all really excited about the World Cup, but the build-up is being marred because of potential sponsorship from, the World Cup potentially being sponsored by the Saudi Tourism Authority. And is it a concern that big tournaments are potentially being backed by countries, by states that don't give equal rights?
I think as players, we, especially in the women's game, and I've seen what the American players have said about it recently. We aren't shy to stand up for what we believe in. I think we make clear statements constantly about the society that we want to live in and having a positive impact on the world. So I think we will always make our opinions heard, and I think that's the nature of the game. But ultimately, those things are hopefully resolved in a positive way by FIFA, by Australia, New Zealand. There's a time and a place for a player to speak and speak out, but ultimately the decision's not in our hands. So you hope that those are made in the best interest of the game.
Sarina, is it frustrating, the position that the players, the coaches are in, having to talk about this and have their feelings known when it's out of your hands?
No, it's not frustrating. It's just good that things are being addressed and things being talked about. And just what Leah says, people know where we stand for. and that's what they talk about all the time. That's also part of being a professional player too, because they're influencers too. So I think no, it's not frustrating, but we also know when it's time to really focus on football and sometimes to address things like this.
Finally, look, big game tomorrow, but big game tonight in the Premier League. A lot of Arsenal, a lot of Man City players in camp. Will you be watching and giving each other a little bit of needle through the night?
I hope nobody's. It's normally everybody giving me stick, but this year the table seems to have turned a little bit. So hopefully it'll be a good one. But yeah, I'm sure we'll all watch together. There'll be a little bit of banter flying around.
Thank you both.
Thanks, Anton. We'll take questions from the floor. We'll go to Emma at BBC, yeah?
Hi, Leah. Nice to see you.
Lovely to see
I
you.
just wondered on how much sort of confidence and momentum the team got going into the Euros off the back of that Arnold Clark Cup win that you obviously had last year.
Yeah, I think obviously winning is the main focus. We go into every game to win, so to come away from it with that outcome was important for us, and obviously the nature of how we won the final game literally directly translated to what we had to do in the Euros. So it's no coincidence, so to speak. But I think the best thing about last year was how much we learned about ourselves, and we needed to see those, well, you wouldn't call them downfalls, but we needed to see where we could grow as a team as well before the tournament. So that's what I'm excited for this time around.
Have you been giving Millie Bright and some of the strikers a bit of stick on the Golden Boot race?
Do you know what? I haven't actually. You reminded me. Maybe I'll mention that when I go downstairs.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Sarina, nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you say obviously Kira's had a stomach bug. Yeah, that gives opportunities for the likes of Laura Coombs, who's obviously being called up to the squad to potentially play. Can we expect to see Laura over the next 3 games?
You can expect to see lots of players all over the games, and probably Laura too. But we'll see when we get to the games.
It was worth a try.
Yeah, nice try.
Thanks, mate. Best of luck.
Thanks, Emma. Who else would like? We'll go to Phil from PA at the back. Thank you. Thank you.
Leah, Jordan Nobbs was a late addition to the squad. I just wondered, we talked a little bit about Beth Mead back at Arsenal. How was it seeing Jordan leave in January? And I guess how much do you hope things sort of work out for both in terms of club and country from here following her move?
I think Jordan's had probably the most unlucky of players that I've played with. I think it's about time a little bit of that found her. But I think it just shows what a driven sort of person she is, an athlete, and how much she wants to give to football, that she's willing to make a move to give herself the best possible chance. So I think it's great for Jordan. It shows a lot of character to be able to do that, to leave your home and to leave your comfort. Arsenal's obviously a different place without her. She's been there forever in my eyes. So yeah, I think it shows, like I said, it shows like a lot of bravery, and I hope, of course, everybody does. But we always we're pushing each other and we want the best for each other. So despite her being in claret and blue, she's I still wanted to do well.
Cheers.
Thanks, Phil. We'll go to Molly from The Times. Excuse the distance for the mic to travel there. Thank you very much.
Hi, Leah. I understand you'll be wearing the One Love armband over this tournament, essentially. I just wondered if you could talk a little bit about what that means to you as a captain and for the squad of players as a whole.
Yeah, again, we're never shy in saying what we stand for. We're a squad that promotes inclusivity, equality. We obviously have a number of people that feel very strongly about it, and I think it's not even a question for us, really. You've just seen another men's player step out and be as brave as they can be, and potentially change their whole life, and they don't know what's coming. So for us to stand also in solidarity with that is important to us. But yeah, it's something we've always done. It's something we'll continue to do, and yeah, like I say, we're not just impacting football. We're trying to have a positive impact on society, and that's one of the ways that we can do that.
And we saw what happened with the men in Qatar. Is it a situation that you'll continue to discuss sort of throughout the year, looking ahead to the World Cup as well?
Yeah, obviously you hope that it's not a last-minute call once we get there. But again, it's something that we want to do all year round. We've done previously. And I think the statement that was made at the Euros last summer with every team participating, I think that's incredible. You know, every picture we have with a trophy lift, there's a rainbow armband in there. So I think it's a great stage and a great time to promote those values that we believe in so much. So I hope it's the same.
Thank you. And for Sarina, there's a lot of tournaments going on in this window, and obviously a lot of kind of countries all over the world trying to get games in. How important was it to get the opposition that you've got, and what do you think that they'll bring in this window?
Yeah, I think it's a little different than last year, of course, but it's still like in between top 10, ranking 10, 20. I think it's very good to play Korea Republic because it's just another culture from another continent, and that brings other things. I think we really like to play against an opponent like that because we also get, well, not the same, but maybe a little similar opponent at the World Cup. I think Italy has grown as a team very much. They're playing different styles of play, which is good for us to practice against. And Belgium, as we've seen in the Euros, did very well. They just lost from Sweden. I think good opponents. They're really improving in their game, and for us a good moment again to try out lots of things and to see different combinations of players.
Thank you.
Thanks, Molly. We'll take two more questions. We'll go to Tom at Telegraph, then Sandra from The Sun.
Thank you. Hi, Leah. I just wanted to follow on from Molly's question about the armband. Does that feel particularly important and powerful at the moment, given we've just had the news a couple of days ago that Saudi Arabia will host the Men's Club World Cup and their...
Sorry, say that again.
Does it feel quite important,
I thought it was me
the
with my
timing
Dutch.
of the armband at the moment because of for example, Saudi Arabia getting the Men's Club World Cup just a few days ago? Does that add a bit of pertinence to the decision to wear the armband at the moment and make that statement?
I think the main thing for us is it's always been a value that we've stood by, so that's the consistency there won't change. It's something we believe in. It's a journey that the world is on that isn't quite where we want it to be yet, so it's something we'll continue to fight for. And I think Jacob as well, he was a main factor. But as always, I think it stands against discrimination of any form. You know, if you stand with that, then you want to eradicate that discrimination from the game. And I hope, obviously, where there's multiple conversations and things going on elsewhere, of course, it's a positive message to anybody that disagrees that football is a place for everybody.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. We'll go to Sandra at The Sun.
Hi, Leah. Just one question, just following on from some of the things you've said there. I mean, beyond the issue with Saudi Arabia, obviously with the women's game, other things going on with Canada and also the Spain national team. Just England seems quite progressive in terms of how they've done things with the women's team. How important is it that you've got an environment where you're supported on a range of issues when you look at what some of the other national teams are having to deal with? Yeah,
I think one of the main issues for women's football, women's sport in general, is the lack of security that there is. And I think we've got to a place in England where, don't get me wrong, we have progressive conversations all the time. It's not about being, just content with where we're at. But in terms of, first and foremost, there's an open conversation the whole time. We have the ear of those that make the decisions. And if we believe that we're missing out on something, or if we believe that our circumstances could be better, then we would be able to voice them, and that's the most important. I feel like the communication breakdown, first and foremost, across women's sport, and where the players are excluded from those conversations. How can you have those, and how can we make those progressions without it? So I'm obviously grateful to be part of the FA and the way that we've had communication and the way that things have moved forward and ultimately put us in a place where we can perform. That's all women's athletes are ever asking for, is the correct resources or the right amount of resources to be able to do their jobs to the best of their abilities. So we stand with those players also. Every time those issues come up, it's not just one team. I feel like it's a collective discussion and fight for equality.
It's great to hear. And for you, Sarina, just the one question I was going to ask. Beyond winning the Arnold Clark Cup again, what learnings do you want to take away from this mini tournament going into the World Cup?
Yeah, again, has been a while since we've been together. We have, well, in November we already saw lots of players. Some of us have been injured, so some players coming back. So what we really want to know from this, that we see a lot of players. We try to develop our style of play, and it gives us so much information about the individuals and about the team we're at this moment to take then the next step forward to April and the World Cup in the summer. So, well, I'm actually really excited to get these 3 games and see so many things about our team.
That's great. Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks, Sandra. Thanks, everyone. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.